ready, fam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Live and direct.
Si, senor.
Real nigga interviews.
Yes, sir.
BolowTv. I got my main man.
2-Dizzle for shizzle.
2-Dizzle. It took him a while, but he know who he is.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man. Happy to be the first nigga to, you know what I mean, have a sit down with you and find out a little bit about you and see where you going.
Yes, sir, man.
So
yeah, I appreciate it, man. Shit, you've been, I've been watching the shit that you've been doing for a while, man, and it's, shit is pretty cool, man. Pretty cool to watch your shit, man, to see where we've developed from and shit, too. You know what I'm saying? Because we go back from high school and shit. It was funny and shit, because I remember, shit, back in the day, motherfuckers battled against each other and shit, and you know what I'm saying?
Know.
We went from the rap battles to all of that shit to what it is right now. It's just cool, you know what I'm saying, to still see motherfuckers still doing their thing, and you know what I mean? It's all love, baby. You know what I'm saying?
All day, all day.
Shizzle.
So just tell people a little bit about you. Who 2-D is?
Well, shit, my name is Arturo Blancas III. You know what I mean? And I guess ever since a little young baby boy, they called me Tootie. You know what I mean, for short. And then from that, after the Tootie, I mean, it was like Tootie. And then I kind of got my nickname from that or whatever, you know, 2D or whatever. And then it was like 2-D. I started to, you know what I mean, enhance my raps. I started saying the dash in it, and then from the 2-D went the dash. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, I think that's pretty much kind of where that came from and shit. But, shit, I'm a music man. I'm a music maker, you know what I mean? I was in the elementary school. I was in the choir, you know what I'm saying? I was in the band. I know how to read music and shit. I play motherfucking alto saxophone. I can, you know what I mean? I fucks with the keyboard. I never was really brought up playing the keyboard, but I could read the notes, and I think really just like my music teacher and my choir teacher back then, I think they was really the ones that brought me out to really start getting really out there, because I never really would have thought that I was gonna be like rapping and shit like back then. I just used to just love music, so pretty much period. I just love music and shit, because that's my shit, you know what I'm saying?
That's real.
I love music. Music made me groove. Music made me move. Music is the queen of my soul.
So where you from, man?
I'm from South Phoenix, Arizona, baby. Born and raised.
South Phoenix.
Yes, sir. Right by the mountains.
Okay.
Right by them lights.
Got that perfect view, them red lights, them red dots.
Yeah, man, right by them red lights, man.
So what you love most about where you from?
You said what do I what?
What you love most about where you from?
You know what? I wouldn't even really know how to answer that question, and it's weird because like everybody's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna move, man. I want to move from here, and I want to move to Cali, or I want to move to Texas, or I want to move to Colorado, or you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go to Vegas, I'm gonna go live in Vegas. And I'm like, I feel you know what I'm saying, I feel people and shit, like, you know what I mean, that's cool and shit, because like I've been to Vegas a couple times, I've been to Cali, you know what I mean, on a little vacation with my family. We had a little beach house, you know what I'm saying, out on the beach, and it's fun, like it's fun to get away, but I can't even lie, like when I go on vacation and shit, I get homesick real fast, bro.
That's real.
And like me personally, like when I'm there, all I think about is Arizona and shit. Like I love it. I love it. Like even through all the bullshit that my state has put me through, and you know what I mean, everybody goes through what they go through. If you know what I mean, if you raised in Arizona, you done been through some shit before, you know what I'm saying? But shit, like I love it, man. I don't know what it is. Like even through all the bullshit that I've been through, like I would never really want to leave from here. Like I love being in Arizona, man.
Exactly.
It's tight. The heat, I'm used to the heat. I love the heat. Shit, I rode around in my caddy for years without a motherfucking AC, and that motherfucking did not care I didn't give a shit about that motherfucker. I drove with the windows down, took off my shirt and fucking mashed out in the whip. Did not give a motherfucker about having no AC in that motherfucker, man. But shit, I love my state, man. I just love it. I don't know what it is, though. It's kind of hard to answer. I just love it. If you're born and raised here, then you know how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Real. That's real shit. So what's most important to you in life right now, man?
What's most important to me in life, man, is just being successful, man, and having everything in front of you at least a little bit laid out. I mean, and with the help of God, you know what I mean, you put your hands together. I mean, a lot of people don't really, you could go a whole day of just chilling with the homies and being on the block, or going to work, or going to be with your family, and unless you was raised like that, unless your family is like that, or unless you around people like that, man, people don't mention God no more, man. People don't mention the man upstairs no more when things happen, man. And
that's real.
it's like, you know, when shit goes down, they're like, yeah, you know what I mean? I accomplished this because I focused and I got my mind where it needed to be, and I did what I was supposed to do, and I was successful at that. But, you know, at the same time, you know, somebody is watching over you. You know, people is like, yeah, you know, hey, yeah, shit, I'm by myself. You know what I'm saying? I was by myself. I was by myself when I did this, and I was by myself. You're not by yourself. You're not by yourself,
Never.
brother.
Never.
You're not by yourself, brother. You know what I'm saying? There's always somebody that plays a role in that, and I believe I'm real big on my religion and stuff. So, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? One time for the man upstairs, but I'm real big on the man upstairs, man. He watches everything, and as long as you keep your faith and do that, I would say he's probably most important. But other than that, man, it's family and just trying to be successful, man, because not really much out there in the world, man. After I graduated from high school, it seemed like all that's really out here in the world now is just trying to be successful, because that's where the money's at. If you ain't getting no money, you ain't really getting nothing no more, man. You ain't doing nothing. You'd be stuck at a standstill, you know what I mean?
I feel you. So I remember back in high school, you know what I mean, you was dropping tracks and mixtape CDs, and the name DOC, I think Doc Records or something like that.
Doc Pro.
So how did you get involved with music back then? Like,
I mean,
because your music was official. Trust me, it was sounding official back then. So what was that all about back then?
Shit, man, I was young, bro. I was young, and I mean, I don't know how I got myself into it. The Doc situation, that happened from, I'm trying to remember exactly how I met him or what happened, but it all actually started though when I hit high school. I hit high school, and I was real big calling up the radio and listening to Power 92. You remember when it was Power 92, right?
Yeah, right.
Not 98.3. You remember when it was Power 92, right?
Yeah.
Well, shit, one time and shit, I was doing a car show. I think it was like my freshman or my sophomore year. When I was in elementary school, man, there wasn't really a lot of people rapping and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I think I was like probably the only one. I really can't remember if I am missing on anybody. And I went to Bush, you feel me? I went to Maxino Bush Elementary. There wasn't really a lot of people doing it like that, but I was in my music class, and I did have a couple motherfuckers in my music class that was doing music though. So, but as far as rapping though, I can't really remember being in elementary school and being side by side with somebody where they were like, hey, well, you know what? It was a couple of times, man. Even shouts out to Humble, man. Humble, fucking Avery. And I remember I sat with Avery one time and wrote a song and shit. A long time ago, shit. I had Avery, I had motherfucking Mr. Humble and feel me, with Mr. Jennifer in my choir class. I had Lays in that motherfucker, feel me?
Yeah.
We used to kill him back in the day, bro. We used to do our choir shit. But fucking, I remember going to the dance, man. It was like 8th grade. It was 8th grade. It was 8th grade prom night. Yeah, 8th grade prom night. I got there early because moms was making like nacho cheese and helping out the cafeteria do their thing and shit like that. And fucking, I was sitting there and the DJ kept walking by and he seen me bobbing my head. And that was when that Black Rob Whoa just came out and shit. And I'm sitting there, I used to love that song. Fucking like, whoa. Fucking when that shit came out, I was like, ugh, that shit, that beat, that.
Yeah, that's vicious.
And I was sitting there fucking rocking to it. I remember at the end, I remember when I was doing that shit, he walked up to me and was like, you listen to music? He was like, here, man, take my tape and, you know, bump it. I got like a mixture of music on it. You should bump this shit. And he was like, at the end of the night, man, I'm gonna call you up here, man, so you could come do some so you could come up here and split some flows, man. He was like, you rap? I was like, but I didn't believe him though. You know what I'm saying? I didn't believe him. But at the end of the night, I remember we out there grooving. I'm out there jamming, getting my groove on, and I remember he was like, hey, where's the dude? Where's the dude who was out there rapping earlier? Everybody like, Duty, yes, Duty, Duty. And they just, motherfuckers was just pushing me up to the stage. And I just remember I got up to the stage and it was like, and I'm like, and it was like an 8 Mile moment and shit. Like I had hella butterflies. Before I tried ecstasy, I knew what it was like to try ecstasy because I stood up there in front of everybody and it was like hella butterflies. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, damn, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, damn, but I did it though. And back then, feel me, like I used to write songs and shit. So like back then, my brain, I think, worked hell of a lot more crazier than what it does now because I could focus on songs and I could remember like a full song with the hook and everything to that motherfucker. At any moment, I could just come out and do that shit. And I think that's what was so strong about me back then. See, because then I started listening to the radio, like I was saying.
Yeah.
And fucking one night I'm listening to the radio And Big Willie, if I don't know if you ever remember Big Willie and shit, man. Shouts out to the motherfucker Big Willie. He was on the radio, and I think he was on there with Santiago. I don't know if Santiago was a DJ or if he was just in there with them. I'm trying to remember. And fucking I remember he just got on the radio and was like, yeah, if there's anybody out there that, you know, if they rapping and shit, man, he didn't cuss and shit, but he was like, yeah, if anybody's out there rapping, you know, call up the radio station right now and, you know, spit a couple bars to us, man. We're trying to put something together and this, that. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. You know, I used to call and dedicate shit to Midnight Mamacita all day, so I was like, fuck it, maybe give it a shot, maybe I'll get through or whatever. I ended up getting through. I didn't believe it and shit. I'm calling, the line's ringing. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's kind of very rare when you call it and it's actually ringing and shit, so I kind of just left it there. I stayed for about 3 or 4 minutes and I'm like, nah, like motherfuckers ain't gonna pick up the phone and shit, you know what I mean? And fucking all of a sudden he's like, yep, Power 92. And I'm like, he's like, Power 92. And I'm like, he's like, hey man, if you don't say nothing, man, I'm gonna hang up the phone, man. I was like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? I was listening to you guys talking and shit right now. You said something about if you know what I mean, if you had some, you know what I mean, if you had skills or if you was rapping or whatever to call in and spit some verses. He said, all right, well, let me see what you got. My ass back then, feel me, I was already prepared. I had a beat already in the CD player on pause, ready to roll. I hit the pause button and fucking busted a little 16 to him. He said, ugh, man, that shit's sick. How old are you? I said, I'm 15. What? Ugh. Are you black? I was like, nah. He was like, what are you? I said, I'm Mexican. He said, ugh. You gotta get the number and call me. Hey, you gotta meet us here on this such and such day, whatever. Big Willie had a little condo and shit. I think it was off like Central and like past Indian School or like 7th Street and Indian School. He had a little condo. I guess what they did was they orchestrated a bunch of MCs. Like this is back in the day. He had, this is when I'm fucking, and this was like when I'm first barely getting involved and shit, but I went in there with fucking, feel me, like I'm shit, because that's how I was back in the day. I was full of my own shit, you feel me? Because I was just so involved with my writing and shit like that. Fucking, we had fucking lyricists in there. They were creating something called The Jury. It was lyricist. I'm trying to name as many as I can. Lyricist, Atlas, Mike Devious, fucking Golden, Teddy Bear, you feel me? Fucking
Teddy Bear.
Yeah, Teddy B the Grizz and shit. He gonna he gonna be on your rap battle and shit this Sunday. Fucking Teddy Bear, motherfucking Reflex. Feel me? They had an MC named Reflex and shit. Fucking Hannah Black. You feel me? Law. Fucking man, I don't want to leave nobody out. I know who else was up in that motherfucker, man. Fucking, and it was orchestrating 12 of us. It was supposed to be 12 of C-Note, motherfucker, Bobcat, my motherfucker Face. You feel me? Fucking, it was just a grip. It was a room just filled with MCs, bro. And fucking, he gathered us all up to get in there and do our shit, man. Fucking, I'm trying to remember who else was in that motherfucker. My memory's fucked up and shit. But fucking, I think from that, I can't remember how, but I got involved with Doc and shit somehow, and I don't know. I think he just was like, hey, I wanna do some music with you, and fucking he gathered us all up. My homie Mr. Mix was fucking with me since the Big Willie days. That's how I met Mr. Mix and shit. Mr. Mix showed me everything I know, fucking how to record. Fucking I eventually evolved from fucking just doing rap shit to, you know what I mean? Now I wanna know how to record and I wanna know about the programs. I wanna know how to do this. I wanna know how to do that and shit. And Mr. Mix fucking showed me everything I know about fucking the computers and how to work these motherfuckers, man. If it wasn't for Mr. Mix, fucking, if it wasn't for Big Willie, I probably wouldn't have met all the motherfuckers, you know?
That's real. So
shout out to all the motherfuckers, and hopefully I didn't forget nobody. If I did, it'll pop back up again right now, fucking, as we keep going and shit, you know?
How many years exactly would you say you've been grinding?
Well, I think with the music shit, I was always doing music in elementary school, so like the music shit was always really there. Fucking, I think as far as getting serious with it and really like writing, I used to write like goofy shit. Like the shit that I used to write when I wanted to start rapping was like some goofy shit. You know what I mean? It was like goofy shit, or it was just poems and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'd write like poems or whatever, and from there it evolved into me actually wanting to get serious with the. And I think when Big Willie came along is when I actually started to really get serious about it. And I think so. I'm 26 now, so. Shit, I would say probably been doing it since for like maybe about a good 10 now. Like honestly going with the rap music, like, you know what I'm saying? Like before then it was band and, feel me, Mr. Tuts, Mr. Jennifer, fucking around, going on the march, feel me, going doing the march down Central, or going to go perform at Chase Bank and sing, feel me, we used to sing like, you know what I mean, we used to sing like gospel music or songs, you know what I mean, like, what you're looking for, I'm the one you're looking for. I had my own little solo, like, what you looking for, what you looking for, hey, had the choir behind me and shit. That shit was dope, man. Like, that shit was like the best time of my life, bro. I will never forget that shit. And like my teachers and everything, like they were a big impact on me, because they brought it out. Like Mr. Jennifer and Mr. Tut,
Yeah.
I could honestly really say that they're the ones that really brought out my musical side of me. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't have really came out like that if it wasn't for them. Mr. Jennifer was like, I want you to get up here and you need to come up here and come do this part. And I was like, I don't want to get, son, boy, you need to get up here and get this microphone and get. I'm like, oh, you feel me? You had to listen to Mr. Jennifer. If you ain't listening, move expeditiously and get up there and grab the microphone. And, but shit, fuck it, I gotta get this microphone because Mr. Jennifer about to get on my ass. You feel me? But he brought it out in me though, and God bless Mr. Jennifer too, because I heard he had passed away. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about Mr. Tut. I think Mr. Tut should probably still be around. I haven't heard that he passed away or anything, but Mr. Tut too was the band teacher back then. But that's where it really all derived from. So getting serious with the music shit, I could probably say probably be like at least about a good 10 years and shit.
You been signed
grinding and shit.
You been signed to any labels?
Shit. The only thing close enough to even doing something like that was when Doc came along and shit, and that was my first production agreement and all of that shit that came out. But that was just so, feel me, I'm guessing so he could just basically get all the profit from the CDs and whatever came out. But that was my first experience of, you know what I'm saying?
Like
fucking
business.
Yeah, of really getting it and dibbling, you know what I mean, getting my little dabble in on fucking what the industry is like, and learning my shit before I started getting involved with the rest of this shit that's out here that, you know what I mean, people take advantage of you and all of that. And like, I mean, back then it was crazy. Like, I was probably like freshman or like sophomore, and after I got involved with Big Willie, feel me, threw me on the radio, and he let me do like a radio intro for him. Everybody from the jury who he was, you know what I mean, created the group with, he asked them to do a radio intro for when he would come on at that certain time of the day. Feel me, the Big Willie radio personality. He would come on the radio and he would play one of our intros that we did. And after he did that for me, man, the world, my whole life changed for me after that. Like I went back to school the next day and people were like, man, who are you signed to, man? How did you do that, man? Who signed you? How much money do you got? And this, that. And I'm like, first it was kind of like, what? Like, what do you? And then after a day or so, it was like, yeah, that's me. Like, yeah, I'm on the radio. I'm the shit. Like, I gotta take advantage of this shit. But feel me, it was more than what I thought and shit. To be honest, I thought I was gonna be on TV that year. Feel me? I thought I was gonna be on TV the next year. Shit, I thought I was gonna be famous the year after that, but it never really happened for me, man. And shit, I mean, back then it was just, and it was a dream. It was all a dream, but it seemed much more realer back then, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, everything, even the whole hip hop scene, I think, like everything changed since back then. It was a lot more different back then, man. I don't really know how to explain it, but it was a different experience from what it is now. Because when I'm out here doing it for the music now, I don't really do it like I'm thinking I'm gonna be on TV or I'm gonna be famous or some shit like that. I just think that I don't think that I do it because I love it. I do it because I love it. You know what I'm saying? I do it because it makes me feel good about myself, because that's where my heart really came from. It really came from the music. So when I do my music, it's because it's real. It's just real life. You know what I mean?
I feel you. So you like performing? What you think about performing?
Man, performing is...
I hold that thought. Before you get into that, we're gonna get into some of this show footage from the car show from last weekend.
Yes, sir.
So y'all check this footage out. We're gonna be right
Si,
back
senor.
at y'all.
Arizona, make some noise, baby. Guadalupe, make some noise, baby. We're kicking it at the car show, trying to do it up, baby. Let's do that motion.
Let me hear you, sir. Let me hear you, sir. Let me hear you, sir. Let me hear you, sir.
Shout out to F-Dot, Tragedy Rock. You know what I'm talking about? Homie F-Dot,
let me hear you, sir. Let me hear you, sir. Let me hear you, sir.
And I know that you can hear before you see it because the car bang when the beat's out. You would probably think that I got the seas out. I know whenever I see the freeze out. If your girl is missing, I took her. No, but she kinda was still on my dog. I'm looking to find a big jug hooker. Get in the leg and come and feel on the subwoofer. So if you see me on the streets, I be bumping with the beat. You know I gotta turn it up so that I can hear. Gotta clear the Kenwood and the Pioneer. If you turn to higher, the equalizer will fight it here. Got a design for amplifiers, I'm kinda weird. Smoking fire, connected wires and buying beers. Learn from all of my peers, I'm a connoisseur. Probably blow a hole in the speakers, you be buying this here. You will never ever get up on my level. I hover over other people's like I was on a spaceship. Cause as I pull up, I'm ready to let the bass hit. Trying to come and get it, then I'ma give you a facelift. Keep it popping until my battery wasted. I have my woman's nuggets that you can literally taste it. A trunk flips, so homie, you can't take shit. Look inside the whip, you know that your boy laced it. Well, let me break you all the proper procedure, cause you know I keep me a popper when I'm fussing Felicia. I be watching the haters jogging, so I'm rocking my heaters. Always dancing, dodging the copper with the work of my speakers. Got the woofers in the box, I be banging my beaters and the echoes across the block. I be blasting my speakers. Got the woofers up in the box, I be banging my beaters and the echoes across the block. Hey, what's up? Hey, when I say forever, you say stronger. Ever.